And Taratazar, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kylaris, and today I'm going to be bringing you a strange Protoss game analysis, as this game was not sent to me by Masterius. This game was actually sent to me by Karigi, who is the Terran in this game. Now, you'd be wondering why... Oh my god, I've got frame lag, one sec. Okay, sorry about that. Yes, this was sent to me by Karigi, and you'd be wondering why I'm analysing a Terran game, and it's for the pure reason that, you know, it was a gold level replay, I believe it was gold, and I just thought it'd be nice to have a look at it, and then later on I'm actually going to do a video that actually sort of indirectly counters something that he's doing. It's not a direct counter or anything like that, but it's a very nice tactic that you should be fully aware of against Terran, as it can be very, very fatal towards a Terran very early on in a game. So, as you can see here, Masterius is just grabbing his first pylon, and did have that up at 9, and we can see now he's just getting a few more probes. This is going to be, as I say, it's not going to be a direct analysis, so I'm not going to be looking at the build orders, etc., etc. of Masterius. I'm actually more going to be looking at what the Terran's doing. This is weird for me. I'm normally not into having a look at what Terran's doing. What is with the frame lag? Oh! Be right back. Honestly, is frame lag really going to be the effect? Oh my god. Anyway, I'll get back to this. So yeah, this, as I said before, this was sent to me by the Terran player, not the Protoss player. And as you can see, just getting a refinery at the moment. Not doing too much different to what you'd normally do. I just do want to point out, though, doing this against a Terran, i.e. building your buildings right next to your ramp, is asking for them to be sniped off by either marauders or tanks with the sight of medivacs. So I would prefer people not really to do this against Terran. You're much better having your buildings positioned over here against Terran, because this, again, is just asking for trouble. I did this specifically against Muslim, and he told me off for it, so don't do this. These are the wise words of Muslim, my friends, so yeah, don't do this. We do see Masterius is throwing a pylon down at this bottom position next to these destructible rocks. This is a really nice position to go throw down a pylon. You may as well throw it down. Although personally I do like having my second pylon powering my two, my cybernetics core and my gateway, just to make sure that you can, so that if one of them does get sniped off, then it's not GG right there, because if that first pylon does get sniped off, it is pretty much GG. So as you can see here, the Terran player, Karigi, is going for this fast tech lab, and fast tech lab means pretty much fast marauders nowadays for Terran players, especially in the higher levels, because of the Reaper nerf recently. So whenever you see a fast tech lab, I wonder if he's actually scouted this. Let's have a look. No, there's no scouting at all here at this point. What you should really do is, I'm hoping this probe will go up here. Come on. No. Anyway, what you should do is, if you see this fast tech lab, I personally like to counter this tech lab. And I will show you what I mean. He's seen the tech lab now with this probe, and I've got frame rate lag again. What the fuck's going on? Yeah, I personally like to counter this tech lab in general, and again, in the next video that I'm going to do, I'm going to show you exactly how I personally do that. And as you can see here, just throwing on more barracks and a second tech lab going up. So if you saw this kind of play from a Terran player, you would know that, if you saw especially a second tech lab as well, you'd know that the tactic that I will show you later on is very, very, very likely to work. We do see a Ghost Academy here, but I'm just going to be ignoring that for a little bit. And also we see in the base of Masterius, we have a third gateway going down. Again, very standard play here from Masterius. Nothing too bad about this. I would like to see him have probes on this assimilator as quickly as possible if he's going to get it. There's no point having it just sit there and do nothing. And I genuinely need to sort this frame rate. It's making me so angry. 1 second. Okay, I've closed everything, but I bet it won't fix it at all. It's, oh my god. Ugh. So, yeah, anyway, we do see nice saturation here from Masterius, and as we can see in the base of Karigi, he does have that Ghost Academy up now, and is going to be getting a Ghost as quickly as possible in order to be able to do EMP on the forces of Mastrius, and we do also see Stimpack is being researched. I'm not so sure about this pylon down here from Mastrius. There's not really too much of a point for this one, especially if you have this one already positioned. I mean, you could warp some zealots up there and kind of move them into the back of the base and try and take out some of these probes, especially if he was able to pick off a mule. That'd be quite nice. But as you can see here, 3 marauders, 4 marauders now, and 3 marines. And let's just take note of where we are in the game. We're at about the coming up to the 7-minute mark. I have turned on this nice little handy clock for all of you people that were requesting it. I'm so sorry for not bringing you that earlier, but I'm just too much of a douchebag to realise how to do it, and I always forgot. So right, let's bear in mind we're currently at the 7-minute 15 mark. So please keep that in mind for the future when I show you the next video. So as you can see here now, Karigi is going to be moving out with a few Marauders, Marines and a Ghost. A really potent force against a Protoss army. And as you can see here, initially Mastrius will be using this force to hold off this kind of push. It's going to be a pretty even exchange at this point, but what he'd be really relying on is force fields, and this Ghost here in effect is negating the force fields, and that is what Karigi, he explained to me, is going for. So I mean, granted, okay, this is only a gold or whatever player level, but still it's very good to look at. And as you can see there, all the shields being taken down by that Ghost, so really effective use of that Ghost there, and it's going to be really hard for Mastrius at this point to hold this off. So I would say that if you do see some kind of push coming in from a Terran player and you happen to catch a glimpse of a Ghost, because I do know that Mastrius did see this Ghost coming in, you really need to spread your units out. You can't just kind of get bottled up in this choke. I mean, if he had his units spread out nicely across this area, he would have been in still a firm position to be able to counter this, no problem. His units outnumbered Karigi's at this point, and he was able to reinforce very easily from this pylon right here. So, I mean, well hurled off by Mastrius there, but that could have gone a lot worse had that EMP, well, no, sorry, the AMP landed very well, but I don't think full 100% use of the units was as effective as it could have been for Karigi at that point. So again, as we can see here, just 2 Marines out. 3 or 4 Marines have died from Karigi, and I'm going to keep coming back to these Marines. We do have 2 more Marines out at this point, but look, we're approaching the 10-minute mark now, so let's assume he's only had about 8 Marines out in total. So again, keep this in mind for the next video coming up. This is effectively a 2-part video, but I really need to emphasize these timings in order to be able to make my point all the clearer. And I've had tons of success with the strategy that I'm going to show you later on when it comes to... Oh, a nice... I didn't notice that Zealot down there. Interesting. He's going to be scouting out for an expansion. I like the use of that Zealot. But yeah, I'm trying to make a point that I've had tons of success with the tactic that I am going to be showing you very soon after this video. So as we can see here now, Karigi is just going out with another push. Does he have siege tech? Siege tech is on the way. I really like these timing pushes from Karigi. I mean, I believe that first push from the Terran could have been a little bit more potent. He could have had a few more units out, considering he invested in that factory and didn't do too much with it from the early stages. But still, this is a very nice push. He can be using the siege tank to leapfrog his units up and being really effective. Although that being said, Mastrius does have a nice saturation. Well, it's nice-ish saturation on these bases right now, and as you can see, Karigi is just going to be pushing up with these units. I would like to see Mastrius have more gateways at this point, especially warping in more units. As you can see here, his warp gates are on cooldown, off cooldown, so he could be easily warping in units at this point. We do have the siege tank sieged at this position here. Nice EMP on those units. You really need, as a Protoss player, if you see your opponent going for a Ghost, especially if you've been hit initially by a Ghost, you really need to make sure you spread your units out at the top of your rounds. Nice force field there, blocking off a few of these units. Going to be able to pick off a few of these, but it looks like this gateway may go down to these Marauders. Oh no, he actually pulls out. He probably could have taken that gateway out, no problem. Although that being said, he probably actually could have gone for the pylons and taken those out, which would have crippled Mastrius even more at this point in time. But as you can see now, a Medivac is coming along, and this is where it gets really dangerous with this building position. He can just move this Medivac up slightly, have high ground sight, move this tank up to about here, and then all these buildings would die with little effort from Karigi at this point. So it's a really good point to, as a Protoss player, not have your buildings at the frigging front. because Terran can do this. Well, against Terran. Against Zerg it's alright because you really need that choke off in the early stages of the game to prevent Zergling rush buys, but against Terran it's not a good idea. So we do see weapons +1 as well as Blink and a Observer out now from Astraeus. I'm not so sure of the legitimacy of Blink at this point. I'm not so sure it was required. If he did want a Twilight Council, he could have quite easily got Charge instead, but it seems like he's going to be using Blink anyway. And as you can see here, this is going to be pretty one-sided at this point. I'm just going to speed it up a little bit to fit this in one video. But what I really want to... Let's just recap over what I want to point out for using this video. Nice drop here from Karigi. Basically, around the 10-minute mark, there wasn't that many Marines out from Karigi. That's because he'd heavily invested in tech labs very early on in the game, so he's going to be getting more kind of Marauders and Ghosts if he chooses to go with the Ghost Academy. So now what we're going to do as Protoss players is exploit the fact that the Terran player has gone for a more tech lab based barracks play, and I'm going to be showing you in this next video coming up. Boom, 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 boom. Everything's dying, all these siege tanks are killing things. I'm going to be showing you in the next video how we deal with that, or how I deal with that. So thanks very much for watching this one, guys. Come back to the next video and I will show you what we do.